What you are about to hear is amazing. Something you won't hear anywhere else. That's because you're locked in to the #1 radio station with the #1 radio show. The personalities on this show are highly trained. Trained in what? Yeah, we're not sure. But they deliver every single day. So no matter what you're doing, whether you're at work, at home, driving in the car, you'll be exposed to radio excellence. If you think you can find this kind of entertainment somewhere else, you're wrong. Studies have proven that listening to this radio show can add 10 years to your life. Don't believe me? Look it up in the Journal of Radio Broadcasting. So get yourself ready for some fun, because it starts right now.
And it's another edition of the CGCM Rock Radio Train Wreck, and it's been a wreck so far. My name is Bob Bannister. I'm over here adjusting my light because it's making rings on my glasses. There we go.
You look pale.
You
look sickly. Just fucking.
Oh, I tell you.
Look at my colorful tone.
This is the only thing I really hate about wearing glasses. You put on the ring light, and then you got to be careful where you sit, because next thing you know, you come up here and it's like, oh, look, you got rings in your glasses.
Donut eyes.
Yeah, exactly. And the blue blocker anti-glare stuff that they get on your glasses. Don't ever get that, Eric, if you have to wear glasses, because you know what? It makes it impossible to clean the fucking things.
I don't think I have that.
Honestly. Don't get it. It's not worth it. They charge you like an extra $100 for that. And then it just, every little speck of dirt gets on there, and then you try and clean it with your glasses cleaner and the microfiber cloth,
and it still don't work.
Smudges. That's all it does, is it smudges. Oh, wow. It creates smudges.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Because I just have the tint.
Okay.
Yeah, and the blue blocker, I don't know.
Don't get the blue block. It's not worth it. It just smudges your glasses. So that's my opinion.
You leave them dirty.
All right, so let's get this thing underway. We were discussing a couple weeks ago that we wanted to do a show on drummers, and so we each compiled a list and came up with who we thought were our favorite drummers. And again, the list, just like others, no particular order.
No, I can't, because I'm gonna probably start with my favorite and go on sort of like randomly.
Exactly.
Because, like when I wrote this list,
yep,
I wrote it like the first people that came to my mind, and that's how I wrote it. And
okay. All right.
The last one is a shocker.
I did my list based on a list that I've done previously, because I was part of one of those Facebook challenges a few years ago. List your all-time favorite drummers. And I remembered my list, at least most of it. There's a few changes on it, but most of my list is pretty much the same as that. And it starts off with a guy who, well, he's my favorite drummer of all time. Unfortunately, he's no longer in the game because he sold all of his equipment and everything. And he's got a book that just came out, and he's narrated the audio version of the book as well. The book's called Brothers, and the guy I'm talking about is Alex Van Halen.
Oh, so he really quit.
He really quit. He sold everything.
Oh, wow.
Yep. His grief is just too deep over his brother. I mean, his brother was his musical partner.
Yeah.
And he was the only other musician that he really felt comfortable playing with. Of course, yeah, okay, Mike Anthony, Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth. There, I said it. Wolfgang. You
said David Lee Roth.
I did.
Never expected those names come out of your mouth ever again.
Well, I had a revelation the other week, and I said to you, I said, you know what? I'm acting like a bitter old man, just like him. And
that's what I was telling you.
That makes me no better than him.
Exactly. So that's what I was telling you about. He's got issues. But anyways, we're not talking about singers.
We're talking about drummers. We're talking about the guys that are quite often back there and hidden.
Drummers.
That's right. And Alex is my all-time favorite. I mean, So many great songs, and you know the intro to Hot for Teacher, just absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
a
agree
band,
with you.
one of the few rock bands I've seen live. Most of the acts I've seen live have been country because of my previous life in country radio.
But the one thing about Alex that I have to say that every time he started something, you knew it was Van Halen because he had such a unique sound with his drum kit that you knew right away this is Van Halen.
Most
Yeah.
definitely you did. And there's one song off 5150 that just absolutely sticks in my mind, and it's got a really great drum part to it. Get Up.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing those guys live, and that's where I've seen them live, was on the 5150 tour. Saw them in Toronto, and just the drum sound, even though he was in that period of using the electronic drums, um, just absolutely amazing. And then that drum solo in the middle of it, where he starts off and he's just playing away, and then he turns himself into the human helicopter and he's just, well, I say the human helicopter, but it's just like brrr, that's all. It just sounds like a helicopter or a small engine or something.
Yeah.
But just an amazing, amazing drummer. And I did hear an excerpt from his book, and he's talking about his brother, and he says, you were the only one that I shared the stage with, the only one I shared the recording studio with. We've been together from the very beginning. He says, I talk to you, I yell at you all the time. And he says, typical little brother, you butted in line because the older brother's supposed to die first.
Hmm.
So he's really hurting.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yes.
I mean, to have got rid of everything, because I was hoping he'd pop up somewhere, like with Sammy's tour or something like that.
Sammy invited him, and he didn't return the calls or anything.
Yeah, that's
I
sad.
it is sad. And you know what? I'm hoping Wolfie pops up on the tour,
Yeah,
or at least one date, or one song.
that'd be nice.
It would be nice, but again, we're not talking. Well, no, we can talk drummers because Wolfie's a drummer.
He's everything.
He is an everything. Um, but yeah, my all-time favorite drummer right there. And that's
Yeah,
the show. Good night,
that's.
folks.
Hey, all right.
Who have you got?
Well, my all-time favorite drummer,
Yeah.
very easy. He's Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Neil Elwood Peart.
The Professor. Grew up not too
Exactly.
far away from here.
And they actually got nicknamed that because of Gilligan's Island's The Professor.
Oh,
I'm just reading that. Well, it's Wikipedia. We don't know if it's the truth. So, hey,
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, he born in 1952 and he left us in January 7th, 2020. And I remember that day I was driving from work and I had Sirius XM at the time, which I don't recommend.
No,
Anyway,
CGCM.
yeah, but I was not with, I didn't even know CGCM existed
Okay.
back in the day. I don't even know if they were around because this was around, well, 2020. I
Yeah,
think
we
they were
would
just started.
probably just signed on the air, if not
Yeah,
close
and
to
I,
it.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
But I was in my car and I don't know which Sirius XM I was listening to, one of the crappy ones. And then they announced Neil died and I bawled in my car. I was just crying. I was so fucking sad. I was like, no fucking way. Because you never heard anything.
No.
And all this was a shock to the system. I was like, holy fuck.
Well, I had heard that he was having trouble,
Yeah, he had a
and
lot of issues.
he had a lot of arthritis.
Yeah.
I remember Getty and Alex saying that touring for Neil would be hard because he's arthritic.
He barely could walk.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, arthritis will do that to you. But they said once he limbered up, he could play.
Yeah.
But I guess well,
Well, he had a sad life. I mean, like he
did.
lost his daughter and wife.
Yeah.
How do you go on, man? How the fuck do you go on when you lose your life? Everybody that was involved in your life like that. That's just terrible.
Exactly.
Terrible, terrible. Like, because he was on a hiatus for the longest time, and you thought Rush was dead, and then they came out, they did that last tour for the
Yeah, Rush
fans,
40.
and yeah, they did that, and that was it after. But like between that and before, he was not around. It took everything for him to start back again,
Absolutely.
and it
Absolutely. The
was
only
really
place
hard.
that I heard that he found solace was riding his motorcycle.
Yeah, and even with the feet problem and all that, he still did. You
Yeah.
know, he didn't want to ride on with the bus with the guys. He was following them on his bike, rain or shine. He didn't care. That was his, I
His
guess,
therapy.
meditation, his therapy.
Yeah.
But this drummer should be a little more positive. Sorry, this drummer though. The first time I heard him, I'm like, this is not normal. What?
No.
I thought he was an octopus. I go, this guy's got arms in the back of his, just, just behind, and then just
Oh yeah.
everything. Four legs, 4 feet, for 4 legs,
Yeah. Forearms.
four arms, just
Yeah.
going crazy, because never did I ever hear somebody that is so technically expert at doing his job as a drummer. Like,
Exactly.
holy shit, man. Like, he could do stuff that I can't imagine. Well, we're not drummers, so for me
No.
it sounds complicated, but for some other drummers, like I've talked to some drummers, said he's not that complicated. I'm like, are you serious? Oh, it's not that
Yeah.
complicated. I could do it. And
Oh,
for
oh,
fuck, they fucking do it. I'm like, okay, but what the hell? It sounds
exactly.
so complicated. But he was very technical, extremely technical, and so good at what he was doing. It was
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just sad that he's gone. You know, it's
And
very
from
sad.
from very humble beginnings too. Like he
Yeah.
started out as as the parts manager at his dad's farm implement or tractor dealership, I think it was.
Yeah.
And was playing gigs in bar bands and stuff like that, and then managed to hook up with Rush after John Rutsey, who couldn't tour with the band, had to leave because of his diabetes.
Yeah. The band would have been totally different if it wasn't for
I don't
well,
think they would have gotten anywhere. I mean, sure, they recorded their first album with John Rutsey,
yeah.
but
It's very rock and roll. It's not prog at all.
no, it does.
It's a
It's
rock
great.
album. Oh yeah, I love it. But it's not progressive. Like, here you said he was growing up he grew up in Port Dalhousie.
Mhm.
Now it's part of St. Catharines, so that's what I'm reading here. And yeah, man. But he started young as a drummer. So anyways, like Rush would not be where they wouldn't, like you said, they would not have gotten the fame at all
No, no,
if it wasn't
no,
for him.
absolutely not, absolutely
He's a
not. And he is
freaking
he is
genius.
missed.
Yeah, big time. Miss him a
A-
lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. My next drummer, I'm turning the clock way back here. Yeah, we lost this guy too. And when I heard about it, it was just a big loss. And he was not just one of my favorite drummers. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. And he wasn't a native to the world of rock music. He jumped over from the world of jazz, and in my books, that kind of makes him a better drummer. And I'm talking about the guy that comes to us from the Rolling Stones, the guy that we lost a couple years ago, Mr. Charlie Watts.
Yeah,
Just one of the world's greatest drummers ever. And you listen to him, and it's very simple. His drumming
yeah,
style is very simple, but like Neil, he's very technically proficient,
yeah.
very on the time, on the beat, and just a very, 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 very precise drummer. And that's what made him one of the greatest. I mean, and okay, so the Stones are on the road. They've got another drummer in there with them. He's playing Charlie's parts, but what
He didn't invent those parts.
he did not invent those parts. And if I'm correct, I think all the music, all the drum parts on Hackney Diamonds, he had done before. I think that album had come out of a lot of demos and stuff that they
Okay.
had. And I could be completely wrong, but I seem to recall that's where they were coming from, was doing this one last album for Charlie.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
But
My
it's a good album. I actually really like
oh, it's
Anthony
it's
Diamond.
it's one of the Stones' best albums.
It's incredible. Like these people, like not only them at their 70s and 80s producing stuff that is so good. And I'm like, how the fuck are they doing this? They're old. They should be not. And Motley Crue can't even hit a note properly in their 50s, 60s. I mean, what the
Yeah,
hell?
it just goes to show you the era that the Stones came up in.
They've been around since the 60s and they're still doing good stuff.
They're still
It's
doing amazing
amazing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But my favorite story of the Stones, and this is featuring Charlie Watts. They were on tour, and I don't know whereabouts in the world they were. Charlie had gone to bed. He was in his hotel room, gone to bed. The phone rings. It's Mick calling from the bar, and he goes, "Where's my fucking drummer? Come down and have a drink with me." Charlie goes, "Okay, give me 10 minutes. I'll be down." He goes, he showers, he shaves, he puts on a 3-piece suit, puts on his shoes, walks down into the bar, cold cocks Mick Jagger, and says,
Shit.
"Don't you ever fucking call me your drummer. You are my singer." And turns around and walks back to his room.
That's a cool story.
I mean, I can see Charlie doing that,
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. That's a
Absolutely.
good story. I like that.
Yes. Who you got next?
All right. The guy started with Dream Theater in 1985 till 2010. He left for a long time and came back in 2023. I'm talking about Mike Portnoy. And
I knew it.
see, the thing is with this guy, I recently discovered him and I had to go back and listen to all the stuff from Dream Theater and all that to really appreciate what he does. And I just fucking flipped. Now, don't ask me which songs or not. I don't recall, but holy God, where did this guy come from? Like, holy shit, he's amazing. Like, you listen to Dream Theater, and I know people are not into like that kind of heavy metal prog rock. I love it. I think it's freaking great. That prog rock has some of the best drummers in the world. Yeah. That and jazz drummers.
I was just gonna say they draw heavily from the jazz community.
Yeah, you could hear it in their sound. Like, and wow, I just freaked out just listening to Mark Portnoy, and God, he's alive at least. That's the great thing. He's just amazing. I mean, he studied apparently Berklee College of Music in Boston. And yeah, they formed the band Dream Theater after I think they met there. I'm not too sure. What does it say here? There he met John Petrucci and John Myung. They formed a band called Majesty, which was later changed to Dream Theater. Soon after, they left Berklee. So there you go.
And their latest is just 9 minutes and 57 seconds of awesome.
Yes, there's also the radio edit at 6 minutes. Yeah. So if for people who want the short version, they're both amazing. What's the song name again? Good question, eh?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll get it.
Okay.
Downloads, Dream Theater, Night Terror.
Night Terror, yes.
Yeah,
now I remember.
Night Terror. Okay, like I put the radio edit on my show. Okay, which gonna air. Hopefully, I still have to do it, but I've been running late of late and doing this, doing that. But no, honestly, Night Terror, I like it. I put the 6-minute version on my show because I don't want to take too much time on my show, like in one song. But the 9 minutes one, like, oof. Yeah,
it's good. It's really good. It's really long. It's long. in the radio business, folks.
It's long.
That's what we call I've got to go to the bathroom song.
We've got to go to the bathroom, so here's a long song.
I can imagine.
No, seriously. Seriously, back in the day, you could tell when the radio host was going to either be getting a cup of coffee or going to take a shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
this song is Hemispheres from Rush.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
you're gone. 20 what is that hemisphere? Is that the one that's like 20 minutes long almost? I'm
I
not
think
sure.
so. Yeah.
Oh, La Villa Strangiato.
Strangliato.
Oh my god. But they're amazing.
Yes, they
Anyways,
are.
we're talking about Dream Theaters, like which they have a ton of good stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
really, really like Mark Portnoy, for a guy for me that wasn't into that and then later decided to go, holy shit. This guy's a fucking amazing drummer. Like just
Yeah.
technically everything. He's got also not only technical, but he's got this. I don't want to say groove because not really. He just flows so well with the music. Like
Yeah.
his drum beat, his drum flows so well with everything.
Yep.
He's just it's not like a guy who calculates everything. This guy just seems to flow with the music that's around him, and that's why he's one of my number 2 best drummers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what now? Your turn.
And I'm going with a musician that's alive. I was looking at my list as you were talking there. I'm going, wait a minute, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. Yeah. I'm going with Ringo.
Ringo, yes.
You know what? There's a lot of people that say that Ringo is not a good drummer. But here's the thing, and I will argue with anybody on this, that Ringo is a good drummer because Ringo does what not too many other drummers do. He drums for the song, not the sound of the band. He drums for the song. And that's what makes him a better drummer. Okay, so he can't do a proper drum roll. So sue the guy. But he's an amazing drummer. And I love him. Everybody loves Ringo.
I always did because I'm a huge Beatles fan. Like I have the whole collection, and I wouldn't have the whole collection if I wasn't. I always enjoyed the band, and like the first poppy stuff that he did, that was just like tick tick tack, tick tick tack, tick.
Yeah.
But when he got into all that psychedelic shit, when they started doing drugs and experimenting with music, I think that's where he expanded more, and it was a lot better, and you really see the difference, and that's what I loved. And,
yes.
I could say, yeah, he's up there. Not my favorite, but he's up there because of the fucking drug days.
And you know, it sticks in my head the end of is it Abbey? Yeah, the end of Abbey Road, where they're going into the song The End.
Yeah.
And they're going through all those little snippets of songs they didn't flush out fully, and there's that whole part where it's dig 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 dig, you know, and they're going into all that stuff, and it's just like, oh man, that's brilliant. I mean, okay, a big part of that is George Martin as the producer going, okay, do this, do this, do this, but it's also a big part of them going, okay, let's do this and do this and do this.
Yeah,
you know,
George Martin really did a great job with them.
Yes.
Amazing producer. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I don't know if they would have been there.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he was with them from the very beginning, and even, oh man, even their latest song, Now and Then, was produced by George Martin Jr., for crying out loud. You know,
I love it. A lot of people criticize it. They say it's Paul McCartney taking a John Lennon song and wanted to call it Beatles. To me, it was Beatles. I don't care.
The song was the bones of the song were written by John Lennon.
Yeah.
It came off that same cassette as Free as a Bird, and the other one, the name that slips my. Yes,
I can't remember.
Yeah,
but it was amazing the technology they used to turn that song into something so fucking beautiful. To me, I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm going, this is fucking Beatles.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I was like, this is new Beatles.
Absolutely. Yep. And we have 5 minutes left in this session. I think we can do one more drummer.
Yeah, it's my turn, right? So, Mike Mangini. I'm not going to hide it right away. Mike Mangini. the other drummer that played for Dream Theaters.
I was just
Dream
gonna say there
Theater.
was two drummers, and I couldn't remember the other guy's name. I remember Portnoy.
Yeah, and Mike, two mics.
Yeah, Mike, and Mike.
The stuff that I heard mostly of Dream Theater before exploring the Portnoy stuff was the stuff that I was listening to with Michael Mangini. Mike Mangini, and I just thought, man, this guy's another awesome drummer. I'm like, the Dream Theater don't fuck around. They get the best of the best. They really do get the best of the best. This guy is just so amazing. Then I start to read a bit about him. Him too. He's a member of the Berklee College Music. So it's interesting. And he performed for bands like with Annihilator, Extreme, which I didn't know. James Labrie, that name sounds familiar, but I cannot put him. I'm sure you know James Labrie. Does that?
I know the name. Yeah.
Yeah, and he played with Steve Vai.
Yeah.
That stuff. That's pretty amazing. Tribes of Judah, Dave Raffet, G3. Those are the other bands that he played for.
Well, G3 was Steve Vai. That was the tour that he put together. It was him, Satriani, and I can't think of the other guitarist's name. Oh, Paul Gilbert, I think it was.
Okay. I gotta go look into that G3 stuff.
Yeah,
man, this is another drummer that just blows your mind away. And his influences: Bobby Colombi, Danny Serafin, John Bonham, Neil Peart, and Terry Bozzio.
Terry Bozzio was a great drummer too.
Exactly. So he gets all this inspiration, and when this guy gets on, sits in front of his drum set, he creates magic because you're inspired by so many great drummers. It's amazing. I just think he's a great drummer too. I mean, if Rush would say that Rush 2.0, they would have to go on tour, I would say hire this guy right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody,
sure.
and getting back to that, and it ties in two drummers here and back into the conversation. Everybody was saying that when the professor passed, that Alex Van Halen, they were in talks with Alex Van Halen to come on board, and it's like, no, you know what? That would be fun. It would be a fun project to hear, but it wouldn't be Rush, because Alex is not that style of drummer. Alex is a pure rock drummer. Yeah. He's not a precision. He's a pure rock drummer, and also. It's interesting because I read something there the other day that Geddy and Alex have been jamming together, and guess they've lost a little bit of the magic. They say they sound like a really bad garage band.
Well, it's normal. Some people, it just happens.
Yeah. That big part of the magic is gone, and you can't recreate it.
No.
So
especially when the main character is gone. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, he was responsible for writing all the lyrics.
Yeah.
So